Hello, everybody. It's great to be here. It's the 14th of January, 2020, 10:04 a.m., and we are in some trades. Want to go over them, and I want to let everybody know in the trading room here that the reason I took a pause there, you didn't hear my voice for a little bit, as I was just setting up the live stream. We're gonna also live stream a segment of today's trading session on the internet for those who just want to get educated. Those who aren't members, kind of check it out. All right, it's been an interesting night. The overnight London session was a bit choppy in trading. Just kept with our current trade, didn't enter any new trades, but doing absolutely fantastic this week so far with that dollar yen that popped, and we have a few possibilities here going on. We also talked about the dollar yen reaching the overhead resistance. We'll wait and see what happens here. We talked. Now the first thing I'm going to start with is the pound, and then we'll go into Bitcoin, and if you haven't watched the video on Bitcoin, it's a couple days ago, definitely put this on pause and go and watch the Bitcoin, because we pinpointed this Bitcoin trade perfectly, and now it is starting to build up steam. We are long, and I said that. So why don't we first discuss the pound versus the US dollar? Why am I long this? What do I think is going to happen? And here we are. I'm just going to expand this. And by the way, most of the time when I'm trading, I'm using Interactive Brokers platform. But what I find, it's just so easy to use MT4. A lot of people do use it. So that's why I use it when I do any type of streaming. So right now I'm using the MT4. So this here, for me, it's nothing but a trend line buy. This is the daily chart, the pound versus the US dollar. Yes, April, if you look in the Telegram message, this was from yesterday. It's a signal. It's a buy with a tight stop. We're still in it, haven't gotten hit. I mean, we are right at our entry right now, like maybe a pip or two above it. So no moves so far. I am staying in it right now because we are still holding this trend line. So I have to tell you, okay, sometimes we see, some resting going on before we actually see a move up. And yes, in some cases we break trend line. Now the idea behind this buy of this pound dollar is the fact that we have held the trend line. So you have to use common sense trading and say, what makes this time so special that it's going to break? So I would need evidence of that. I would want to see the break, and then I would say, okay, well, it broke, now maybe we'll go short. But until that happens, I mean, look, it's held here, it held here, and I have to believe it holds here. And if it doesn't, breaks, no big deal. That's what stops are for. So I'm just looking for a move back up. Now, my first target is going to be this here, this area high, which is just a little bit short of 133. Okay, and then we have this 4-hour chart. A lot of this type of trade is really going to depend on what kind of a trader you are. I agree, Yuri. Absolutely. See, Yuri uses the daily to gauge his intraday setups. Nothing wrong with that at all. In fact, I think that's a great idea. So, for example, he would use his daily chart to help him gauge his short-term trades that he takes on the 15-minute. So if I'm going to use my daily, let's just say here's the 15-minute chart. This here is a support level. That's the trend line that we just looked at on the daily. Came down, touched this, and of course we're going to first be looking of a that's 3013 up here. We're going to look for a move higher, run some of those stops, and then we have right here, we are at that previous intraday now overhead resistance. So break above, clearing this congestion area, and we're looking to be on our way to right around that 3050 area, 3040 area. So very slow moving. That's the way it's been London session, and so far it's been that way here. Nothing here is telling me to get out of this pair, so just sitting, letting it be. Let's minimize this here. I'm going to go over that Fred right now. Definitely going to go over the Bitcoin. Take a look at the video that I made a couple days ago. We were all getting long, but there's a reason why we get long. We don't just get long and hope and wish. That just doesn't work in trading. I talked about this triangle. It's a wedge pattern. Not a perfect wedge pattern, but it's a valid breakout here. Talked about this in detail, so rather than go over all that, definitely take a look at that video of why we got in. And now we are long Bitcoin, 86.70, and you're seeing a significant move here. And I put an article out too on the website, just talking about how 9,000 may be coming soon. Next stop, 13 and change. Now I know a lot of people like to get all into details, talk about Bitcoin in general. Why is it going up? Why is it going down? And there's only so much time in the day where I don't get very in-depth with a lot of things like that. And don't get me wrong, I will touch on fundamentals. I will say why I think it's going up, why I think it may be going down. But to get deep into the notion of the breakdown of Bitcoin, I don't think that's very relevant to us as traders. I mean, if that was the case, we would have to know and be able to dissect every single company that we buy in stocks, and vice versa in Forex. So when you're in a trade for a few days, maybe a week, you're not going to necessarily have an edge if you dig into fundamentals, especially in a day trade. Fundamentals are wonderful for long-term investors. So I'm keeping it very simple to say this is a triangle breakout. This is a technical chart pattern with divergence on the very bottom. That would be bullish divergence. We took the long, and at this point we have this 77.96 area. That is our stop. Most likely we're going to be moving that up today, and then moving our target up too. Okay, because I think our target is a little bit close here, and now that I'm seeing the momentum, I may just move that target as well, but definitely going to move that stop. I'll send a message a little bit later to the members there. I'll send that via the Telegram. And here we are right here on the pound. And you know what? rather than touch base and get back to the pound, why don't we just take a quick look here? A few people were asking and posted if I can just take a look at this. Now just look at the aggressive move. And you know, there's so many people that do love to predict the downside on this, and I was one of them too. I predicted the downside on the S&P. I've also predicted upside too. We have to understand what is going on here. Now, first off, look at that beautiful trend line. And you're going to tell me trend lines don't work? It's just people see trend lines as just so easy that it doesn't make sense to them. It's like, how could that be? Well, that's fine. You can get into your very in-depth trading methods, and I like to just stick with simple things. Look at that. If you're going to fight this trend line, you may be in trouble. So, longs are still in control. Keep in mind, there is a quantitative easing type situation going on with the Fed. They don't want to call it quantitative easing, but they're providing liquidity. Essentially, they're out there absorbing some of the negative cash flows. One can debate that they're out there buying stocks. Just bottom line is, be careful. Election year, I don't know. So many people thought that with that Iraq thing last week, we were going to see some massive moves to the downside, and we did for a very short period. We were in on that, and then all of a sudden, I had said, I was very clear, and I said be careful with the dollar yen. I believe we're ready for a reversal. Some of you went long with me, some of you stand aside, some of you disagreed, whatever it is. Bottom line is, I'm definitely not always right, but there was something fishy, and we had some evidence, which I discussed, to prove that we may just get a reversal in that dollar yen, and we did, and that dollar yen popped. And it didn't stop. Here's the dollar yen. Okay. So we've taken such a slight little pause at that 110 area. Of course, that's pretty much a given. If that 110 area was an area where we can, see a reversal, if there was sellers waiting for this dollar yen, you would have seen a very aggressive reversal at that 110. This is not sellers waiting. It's more like buyers waiting, or just buyers hanging out. It's still heavily shorted. I personally am not interested in shorting the dollar yen here. This is jumping to the weekly chart. We cleared the 109.72. This is the area that I've repeatedly discussed and talked about. We popped above that. Right now, that level is so very important, and being below that level maybe is great for the bears. And I'm not one of these guys that's like, above 109.72, I'm going short. Excuse me, below, or whatever it is. You know, sometimes you'll read technical analysis and you hear things like that, and you're like, well, that really didn't help. It just confused me. And essentially, a lot of articles do that. It's like they don't want to take a side. What are you afraid of? Okay, if you're wrong, you're wrong. But if you're not taking a side, then are you really trading, or are you just a reporter? There's a lot of reporters out there. So for that reason, I really don't read much. Do my own stuff. And here we are. We just talked about the 110. agree 100%, Tommaso. Many of these articles are just words out there to feed the website, get keywords in the search engines or whatever it is. A lot of them don't have substance and meaning. I'd say 5% of the articles that I read actually have some good analytical reasons why the Forex pair may move up or down. Good job, Tommaso. The exit was 110. Nice. 100 pips. 100 pips. Good job. I mean, I ended up getting out with about 40 pips. Nothing spectacular at all. So he got in right around 109. Right about here. I was in way down here. Hindsight's always 20/20, right? As they say. So I'll give this pound dollar more time. I mean, today is the US session is a lot like the London session. It's so far been very, very slow. Times like these, swing trades are a good idea. Capitalize on those longer term moves. The trend line is a weekly, and more so I think it's more relevant on that daily chart. It's no problem to look at dailies. Keep that in mind when you're swing trading. But so far holding that trend line nice. My position is not too big. It's not such a biggie. We're going to talk about another one. It's not talked about a lot. The dollar versus the Swiss franc. We've been seeing the Swiss franc getting stronger. It's very, very interesting. And it kind of makes me think that we're missing something in the markets here. I believe the yen has been weakened by the Bank of Japan last week. That's what I believe. I believe that's why it moved higher. And now we're seeing strength continuing in the Swiss. Tells me that maybe there's going to be something happening from a geopolitical standpoint. I'd be really careful if I thought that all of this Iran-Iraq thing was over. I'd be very careful to think that. And as far as the dollar versus the Swiss, I am bearish on this. I think we're going to come down. I think we're going to break the support areas here and go lower. And we're going to end up, I think, down here. Right in that 92, 93 area. So be really careful to start going long here. Now, maybe intraday plays go long, go short, okay. I'm just kind of looking at the, longer time frames. That's my opinion. I'm going to stick with it until otherwise proven differently. So that's really the story. We've been doing this trading room since 8:30. Started to stream, I think it was about 20 minutes ago. I'll be ending the YouTube live stream in just a little bit, and then what I'll do is I'll take a half-hour break, go grab something to eat, and I'll come back in here. I'm gonna extend our trading room, the premium trading room, for a bit today. I'm just I want to do some more technical analysis on my end, and not just technical, some fundamental. I want to look at this Bitcoin, set some more firm exits for us so we can take some nice profits, things like that. And I want to do that live. Erie, that is really cool. $50,000 you invested in Bitcoin last week. That is really cool. You're up $10,000. That's a big. Nice. So you just flat out bought the Bitcoins then, correct? Oh yeah. So you just bought it out flat, right? Okay, tiny bit of margin you're using, yeah, because I was just trying to figure it out. I was saying, if you only bought it in cash, like maybe you do in a Coinbase type of scenario, which I don't like because they charge such a high commission. Yeah, there would have to be some margin there to get 10 grand off of a 50 investment. But good job. Well, I just kind of put it out there and tell you what I'm doing. So if you took it, then, I mean, really, you took the risk. So good job to yourself. But thanks anyway for the positive feedback. Okay, everybody. So for those watching this on YouTube, if you want to join, we just started a free chat room. What the heck is the name of that? Discord. I'll put the link below for those of you who want to, jump into that. There's also a link on the website if you want to become a part of the premium room. I kind of have a feeling, my friends here, that we're going to be popping pretty soon in this pound dollar. But we're going to end this stream. I'm hungry. I'm going to go get something to eat. And I'll be back in about a half hour for those premium guys. Thanks so much, everybody, for watching. Those of you out there on YouTube. And look forward to seeing yous. Take care. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.